Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna get started and tap into what your spirit guides have for you today. All right, spirit guides of my collective, tapping into the collective energy now and channeling the messages. Collective, this is a time where fear is a very common feeling amongst all of us. So if you are feeling fear, know that you are heading towards the release of that fear. Okay, that's just a message I got so far. The back of the deck energy is the Ace of Cups in reverse. So you have been pouring that love into yourself. Maybe there was a rejection that you felt, and it, instead of hardening you, I think it just changed your heart. You had a change of heart, and that can come in a lot of ways, but really with the Ace of Cups, I'm seeing that you have found a lot of self-love within yourself. You're not giving it out to others. You're accepting, or you're just pouring into your own cup, right? So normally Ace of Cups is the universe bringing in new love, but you're cultivating it from within. Self-acceptance is coming out with the Eight of Wands or Eight of Swords in reverse. You're releasing the burdens. You are allowing yourself to be seen again. You're releasing yourself from these chains that you have put yourself in. And because of that, you're going to be moving very quickly with the Chariot card. And it's going to be, where is it leading? It's leading you to overcoming these past burdens when it came to love. Okay, this self-acceptance and self-love that you're doing right now is so crucial in your movement forward. So know that you are doing a monumental task for yourself when you're pouring into you. It may seem like a quiet thing, like, a lot of people might not be aware that you're filling yourself with self-love, but honestly, no one needs to be aware. You're doing this for you, and you're doing this for your own release, your own freedom. Maybe you guys have felt really tied down to a certain situation for a very long time, but with this self-love rejuvenating you, releasing you from the chains, you're realizing that you're safe within yourself. You're strong enough to overcome all these obstacles that have been placed upon you. And that came through diligence. That came through sowing the right kind of seeds, right? You were very honest with yourself. You were real, and you were like, I want to be just good with myself, right? Before anything else comes in, before another human comes into my story, I want to be good with myself. And you have persevered, and through these lessons, you have learned the skill of perseverance. Okay, endurance isn't it's not the most natural thing, but it does come out for humans. Usually it comes out during very extreme circumstances. And so know that you've had to endure pretty crazy things, but you have persevered because of your dedication to yourself. So with the Two of Wands in reverse, maybe there's something that you're not able to make a decision on. Maybe you're still like feeling that you don't have all the right information. You don't have the right information to truly make a decision for yourself. And let's see what this decision is about. So the choice is whether to give in to a proposal for a romantic relationship or not. There is a level of repression occurring within you. And there's like an indecision because there's a repression. So let's break this down. There's something that you need to reveal within yourself to make the right decision. And it's really It's really simple, but also really hard, okay? It is, what does your heart tell you? Above logic, above everything else, what does your heart tell you? Sit with it. Sit with it in meditation. Do breathing exercises and just have this question as your main topic of discussion, right? So when you get into these spaces of meditation, you want to start asking yourself, what does my heart want? And let the visuals come. Let the emotions come. Okay, I was doing this last night and I found that the heart will not give you the biggest visuals, that's your mind, but the heart will give you the biggest feelings. And like your heart will, you will feel emotions emanating from it. So follow those emotions. Where does it lead you? Okay, wherever it leads you, that's where the truth lies. So I can't be the one to tell you what's truly going on deep down, because there's a level of repression occurring. Even at an energetic level, it's like you don't want this situation anymore, but your heart is still not done. Your heart's not done, but you're done. Logically, you're done, but your mind, your heart's, going through a little change of heart here. And so just be honest with yourself at this time, because it won't harm you. Just knowing your truth will not be a harmful thing. Even if it requires you to leave a certain situation or go after a certain situation, just know that you're allowed to feel what you're feeling in your heart. It's just important to at least give yourself that space so that you can meet yourself without that judgment, right? At least create that space in your own world where you don't feel judged, where you are with you and you are open to you, okay? Because this indecision, it will be dealt with very quickly once you go into your heart space, okay? With the High Priestess in reverse, yeah, it's showing that you're not connecting to your intuitive space, and that's in your body. And so less in the mind, more in the body. All right. And how can we do that? We can do a lot of different meditative exercises, such as yoga, I talk about this all the time, but these physical exercises that put your mind into your body is so important, just for like a natural, healthy way to deal with the thoughts, right? It helps us kind of process things. And even working out, like, it doesn't have to be some extremely spiritual thing. Just even working out and allowing those thoughts to clear out as you're working out is incredibly meditative as well. So there's many ways to go about it. Yeah, okay, so the Two of Swords coming out to say that you're going to be using your intuition to make a decision, right? So basically everything we just said confirmed in that one card. And with the Emperor, you're coming back into your authority. Yay! You're coming back into your power. And this is going to be really important to have a healthy ego. It's going to be really important to, as you go out there and take charge of your life, you're not doing it in a rigid way. You're doing it in a very determined way, right? There's a difference in rigidity and determination. I feel like determination, you're determined to get to a position that you see yourself in, and you're flexible with going about it so that you can get yourself to that position, because the position is the key, right? That's the goal. And so you're going to allow yourself to move whichever way to get there. And rigidity, you have that's different, because there's a structured plan that you want to go step by step towards your goal. But sometimes Spirit wants you to take another detour, because there's a skill that you can actually learn in that detour that'll actually make getting to your position a lot quicker. Okay, so It's so good, collective, that you're entering your authority again. Thank goodness. You had a really long time of feeling like you haven't been able to give that to yourself, as if something else was controlling you, right? And now you're progressing. And now that with this foresight, because you've worked on yourself, because you've been able to tap into your intuition more, you are not only discovering yourself, you're expanding in the physical world as well. Your internal world is expanding and your external world is expanding. And I think that's amazing. That means your life is growing. That means your life is stepping out of the stagnancy, going into expansion. A lot of Jupiter energy here. So you might be going through your Jupiter expansion, and that's a beautiful, beautiful time. Okay. I just went through my Jupiter moment, and it was actually very challenging, but very rewarding. I'll say that. Not challenging as in like intensive work. It was more like there were a lot of things that I wanted to run from, but Spirit just kept me sitting there so that I could look at the things that I have not been wanting to expand on, right? These things that I've wanted to keep shut. And Jupiter, the energy of Jupiter came in and just shone a light and just expanded every one of those topics out to the point where I could not even look away because it was all around me. Okay, so it challenged me in a way where I was no longer able to hide. I was no longer able to look away. I had to look at these things, and they didn't harm me by looking at them. They merely just wanted to be validated. They wanted to be further developed. They wanted to be further understood by me, right? These shadow things, if we push them to the back, we're not working on them. We're not expanding them. We're not allowing them to evolve. And so as Jupiter comes in, at least on my end, it really allowed me to evolve these issues that I've had since growing up. I feel really clear now. Of course, I'm not clear. You know, like I'm still a human being, but my mind, my subconscious with the moon is no longer filled with illusions. It's no longer filled with darkness. It's filled with stars. It's filled with light from the moon, because I've shown a light into that space of my own life. And that's what's happening for you. That's what you've been doing. I've just been sharing my end, but it's almost as if you guys have been doing the same exact thing. And if not, that's what you can expect. But know that it's leading you to a much more expansive ability to show compassion. Okay. Before, I used to have very little compassion for... I've always had empathy, but it was really hard for me to show compassion to others, right? Just in general, because I didn't know how to show compassion to myself. I could sit with people and listen to their traumas, but, you know, and celebrate them with their wins. But there was also a feeling of imbalance within my connections. And that was because I wasn't opening up my heart to them, because I was still dealing with my own issues. I was dealing with a lot of past childhood issues, okay? But because I've expanded this, because you're expanding this part of yourself, you're able to have so much more compassion for others, and you're able to hold yourself so much more steady when things are not going well, right? Making you great at diplomacy, making you able to hold yourself at a stable level. Even when things around you are completely chaotic, you internally are able to keep that balance, because that's how you help people, by not being on that wave with them, right? But rather just keeping that balance. And if you do go up and down, it's not as big as a jump as you would have had if you had not dealt with the, I don't want to call them issues, dealt with your past, okay? I think you kind of saw your past as blockages, and maybe that's why I keep calling them issues. But know that they're not issues. They're really not. You just, we're all given a very nuanced, very individual upbringing, because, different people, different ways of upbringing. And yeah, you just need to know that your issues are simply just you surviving the environment that you were forced into, okay, that you were born into, something that you can't control. If it's something you're unable to control, then there's no point in blaming yourself, right? There's no point in turning it into an internal issue, making it personal, because really you just had to survive to grow up and survive the event, right? Survive that kind of upbringing. But you're out of it now. And because you're out of it, you're going to be able to no longer see them as issues about yourself, but see them as the stepping stones of your life. That's your story. That's your reality. And so Spirit's also asking you to honor those steps, those survival moments that you had to make, the parts where you look back and you're ashamed of yourself because you know better now. Give yourself grace back then, because you had to do what you had to do. And maybe if you didn't have to do it, that was how you learned how to deal with things. I'm basically saying it's a little unfair to judge yourself based on your upbringing, okay? Because that's really not in your control. The only thing in your control is you as an adult. You have a responsibility for yourself, and the way you show up for yourself as an adult is something that you're in control of now, okay? And it's still not something for you to judge. It's just for you to learn. It's just for you to experience and learn. So you got release, wisdom, going forward, and happiness. Perfect. As you release these old leaves that are on you, as you're preparing for your transition into the new year, you're going to have to let go of these leaves. You're going to have to let go of these old things that you have been growing, right? And you're going to let them go. You're going to release them. You're going to allow them to simply operate as they will. And if they leave, they leave. And this is a wisdom that you're gaining. You're like, you know what? I'm going to let people do what they need to do. If they come to me, they come to me. If they don't come to me, then you know what? I'm going forward and I'm going towards my happiness regardless. Regardless of the individuals coming into your life, you are still going towards your happiness because you've seen a glimpse of your future. You have. I know you have. And that's what really gives you that drive to go towards it, because you know there's happiness waiting for you. You know it's going to be so freaking good. And so as you release these old things, just know that like you don't need to focus on what is leaving and what you're missing out on. Just focus on what you're actually going towards. Remember what the goal was. Remember where you're heading. And remember that people that are in your life or not in your life, your happiness is still owed to you regardless of the individuals that come in. Yeah, individuals can come in to like give you valuable like teaching moments and companionship. Yes, that's all wonderful. But at the end of the day, you have a goal and it's your own happiness. Okay. You've gone way too long diving deep into the depths of yourself. You've had to meet so much harshness and coldness within you. It's now time to enter the sunlight again. It's time to take that wisdom that you learned from diving into yourself and bringing them out into your life so people can see it. Maybe there's a resistance to being seen by people because you've been hurt by individuals that didn't like when your light was shining. Maybe you're really like happy, smiley, loud person, right? And others are just like, you know, they always tell you to be quiet or that you're doing too much, or like, you know, like you can tell like they just don't like your upbeat personality, and so you stay more in this lower, like, I want to say lower vibrational, but just less energetically vibrant energy to be in, because you find that more palpable for others. But you're not doing that anymore, because you're realizing, like, I need to be real in order to connect with real people. Ooh, you know, I need to be authentic if I want authentic people in my life. And yeah, you're being promised a new beginning. The Six of Swords came out earlier in the tarot, which is also moving forward, starting over, a new beginning. Okay, so new beginnings are coming out again. Just to reiterate that you are entering that world. Like, you see the rainbow, and the rainbow on the dolphin card and the hills. It's like this is the culmination of these two cards. This is exactly where you're going, and it's a little dark because it's new terrain. You haven't been able to really get comfortable in this realm yet because it's new, but you know that it's not harmful, and you know that you're heading towards your happiness, and you're heading towards just your future. You're not tied back. You're not dealing with the past anymore, because you've dealt with the past. You've actually stayed in the past way longer than you've needed to. And that was because you just weren't sure if you were ready to make that move. But Spirit is saying internally, you are ready. Even if mentally you're unsure, your body already knows, your spirit already knows, your soul already knows, and your spirit team is already doing it so that it is coming forwards for you. Regardless if you are cognizantly able to say, yes, I'm ready, or not, subconsciously, you are. You are ready. You're ready at every single level except the conscious level. Okay, because of your own blockages, because of the things that you tell yourself, okay, or just the lack of belief of yourself in certain areas. And hey, that's something we work on in our lifetime, right? We're not perfect. We're still going to have insecurities no matter what stage of life we're at, and we're always going to be healing certain aspects of ourselves. That's just natural. In this next phase, it's going to be lighter. You're going to be experiencing a lot more joy, a lot more experiences. I'm seeing a lot of ocean trips. So, which could also be because of my dreams, because I've been dreaming about oceans every night. I am in the water every night. And I'm like, that's so strange. But regardless, I'm seeing the ocean for you. You're going to be going on a lot of trips. You're going to be going on retreats, okay? And these retreats, they're specifically for realigning your consciousness back into your body. Get those ants out of your mind. Get those negative thoughts out of your mind. Get the past out. It's time to start again. And it's time to allow this new version of you to simply come out and be exactly what you are. Okay, you're not holding yourself back anymore. You're not doing that because it's not worth it. You know what kind of relationships you attracted by staying small. And it was people that couldn't see you for you, right? You didn't feel validated. You didn't feel reciprocated in those relationships because you didn't show your true self in the beginning. And so you're not able to receive fully now, right? So you're realizing that when you show up small, you attract small, and you're so over attracting small. And so you're going big. You're being you, and you're being authentic, and it's leading to an absolute joyous, harmonious, balanced, bright beginning. Okay, so that is all I have for you. I hope that these messages helped you out in any way. Hope they brought you joy and reassurance that you're going in the right direction. Okay, so thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.